You have to kill the anger. You got to kill the anger. If you're angry, you can't get anywhere. So for a long time, I had a lot of anger, and you need to get rid of it.
Anger does not give clarity. What does if anger is in front of you? What does it do to you?
It sets you back because you're not thinking clearly. You have to disassociate whatever happened to you from what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're perpetually angry about something, you're not opening up yourself to the possibility that this could change and that can get better, and maybe I should, change my ways.
Good day, everybody, and welcome back to Confronting the Impossible, to talk about the trials and the tribulations of those that have been there and done that, have gone through the grave and come up. And we have a very special guest today. The gentleman's name is Elliot Horowitz of H Equities. Elliot, how you doing, brother?
Hi, Leo. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Really do.
It's a pleasure to have you. And the way I am, very straight. Yep. I want to talk to you how it is. And the people want to know, before you became this gentleman that, introduced the world to debt, equity in Brooklyn, in Bronx, in Manhattan, who the hell were you? Where did you begin? And how did that start for you? And if you want to begin in diapers, begin in diapers. If you want to begin from high school, begin in high school. But begin from somewhere, because, I've spoken to this man. He's a very interesting man. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you want to hear his story. So, Elliot, please let us know where you want to begin.
Thank you, Leo. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. Back in my beginnings in Brooklyn, mother, father. My mother passed away very young, and I was very young. So that sort of set the stage in my life. I was about 6 years old at the time, and I had a wonderful father who raised us, in a great way. He was very resilient, very strong, always looked toward the future. So that kind of helped me, I guess, get over that hurdle. So when you're a little kid and you suffer a trauma, you're not really sure what that trauma is. You don't know. You're 6, you're 7. As you get older, you're 10, you're 12, you're 14, you know something was missing, and you try to go through your life and figure out, what was that thing I'm missing? And because I suffered that trauma, I guess my world view of things was shaped at a very young age, unbeknownst to me, as I got older.
What was that trauma?
My mother passed away when I was 6 years old. That's a trauma. One day you're there, one day you're not there. But again, you don't realize it necessarily at the moment in time. It takes you time to work through that.
And when did you realize that? When did this creep up on you? Did it creep up on you?
It crept up probably sometime in high school. I kind of realized it. I don't know why. I'm thinking back. It was probably then, because I realized there was something I didn't have. Even though my father ended up remarrying, which was wonderful and good for him, it was great. There was something I didn't have, that warm embrace of the mother that always loves the child, right? Because I didn't have that. You lost it at some point. So I guess that shaped a lot of the way I think. I thought it was natural. All right, people die. What are you going to do? I thought it was natural. That was natural. Oh, you lose stuff. What are you going to do? Move on in life. So to me, it's almost like an unfair advantage, even though advantage isn't the right word. When you have something thrown at you that's really traumatic, you have to either build on it or let it destroy you, right? So I chose to build on it.
Before we get to the mother and the passing, who was your father?
My dad was an accountant. At one point in his career, he was what was called at the time the paymaster of New York City. He signed off on all the checks. He worked under the Beam administration back in the 70s. So he was the guy that sat at that big municipal, beautiful building right by the Brooklyn Bridge. He sat in that office. He signed off all the checks. He did a lot of auditing for the city, but he had a private accounting practice. And he worked at home. I work at home, funny enough. He worked at home for many years as well, but before it became popular. Back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, 90s. And humble beginnings, grew a nice little business, never got too rich, was never too poor, just like sort of in the middle there,
Where did he grow up? He grew up in Brooklyn?
He grew up in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm.
And what's your nationality?
I'm Jewish.
Jewish.
American Jew.
Where'd you grow up?
A Jew from Brooklyn, who knew, right?
A Jew from Brooklyn. Where in Brooklyn?
So I grew up in a neighborhood called in 27th Street Avenue L.
Okay.
At the time, I forgot the name of the neighborhood. And I grew up there for, my dad bought that house, I guess when I was a year old in 1967. And I lived there till I got married at the age of 23.
And your mother died because of natural causes?
She had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. And it was unexpected?
Very unexpected, yeah.
Probably everything was clean, and all of a sudden, boom.
You don't know. I guess she passed away in 1973, so maybe at the time, maybe checking up on your heart wasn't a thing every 6 months.
Every
Maybe
6 months or
or
something.
whatever it was. You're supposed to do it today every
6 months or a
year
year
or something.
it is.
Maybe it wasn't a thing. Maybe cholesterol wasn't a
big
thing
deal.
back then, right?
How did your dad take it?
He was a fighter, so he was a resilient guy. So I was a kid, so hard to remember. But I know over the years, as I got older, he always used to say, if your mother were alive today, this would have been different. If your mother were alive today, that might have been different.
So it
For
sat
me,
on him.
specifically. It sat on him. Even though, again, he remarried. I don't know.
When did he remarry? How long did he remarry?
When I was 12, I'm going to say. About 6 years later.
6 years later.
Something like that.
Okay. And did he go through a low time in his life?
I was too young to remember. I know, but as I got older, I do remember him not dwelling on it, just wishing it might have been different. For me especially, and for my brother especially.
It's very heartfelt to hear and probably agonizing to experience. What did your mom do? Was she an astronaut? Or was she a scientist? Was she a doctor?
She was a homemaker. She was the old-fashioned homemaker. That's what she was. Pick
All
me up
right.
from school every day. Take care of the dinner, the old fact. It's a noble cause.
It is a very noble cause,
noble
and
cause.
they don't get enough of a shout out to homemakers.
They do not.
They do a tremendous job when the men or the women or the fathers
Whomever.
are out there and working
Correct.
and doing everything. So
Correct.
it's interesting that you started from that. Why is that the foundation? Why is it trauma? Why did you go right into that? What happened there?
Well, I tried starting in the beginning. So, and I'm 3 years old. I have no idea what happened. So that was a pivotal moment. You don't forget something like that. So that's what
You
we
don't.
started.
You don't.
Right.
And it creeped up on you in high school, you said.
Yeah, I used to be told in high school I was perpetually angry because of something that happened in my life, and it must have been that. So it took me a long time to recognize that.
How did you deal with that? How did you traverse that? When you realized it, right? In high school, I'm assuming you probably sought therapy or you spoke with somebody and stuff like that, right?
They made me speak to somebody. Yeah.
Made you speak to somebody.
I wasn't a great student, so at times I was told you got to do this to stay in class, right?
Okay. And that by the way, that's very raw, and I really appreciate that.
It was good.
And a lot of people go through difficult times,
Yeah.
and your success, I guess, began with a little bit of trauma in your life, and very significant. That is a trial and a tribulation that I want to kind of go a little bit more deeper in, because on the surface, you are a successful entrepreneur. You are someone that has a lot of grit, resilience, very fierce.
My dad had a lot of that grit and resilience.
So he raised you.
He did.
What elements did he instill in you that you still carry on today with you?
You got to work hard, always try, don't give up, be honest, be straight. All the old-fashioned stuff.
And that was kind of like the glue that made up your personality and stuff
All
like
the
that.
old-fashioned stuff. He worked hard. He was always working, always trying to push for us, always doing.
And when you came out of this, I guess, primordial soup with this trauma and these good traits, what did you begin to learn about yourself as a person? What traits did you take with you, and what traits did you have to kill to grow up?
You have to kill the anger. You got to kill the anger. If you're angry, you can't get anywhere. So for a long time, I had a lot of anger, and you need to get rid of it. You got to just.
And how do you do that?
Everyone has their own. I don't know. It's a process. You have to. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know, but it's a process, and everyone's different.
So clarity. Anger does not give clarity. What does if anger is in front of you? What does it do to you?
It sets you back because you're not thinking clearly. You have to disassociate whatever happened to you from what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're perpetually angry about something, you're not opening up yourself to the possibility that this could change and that can get better, and maybe I should change my ways. But it might be like I said, it might be an age thing. When you're 20, you think of life one way. When you're 40, it's a different thing. And when you're almost 60, it's another thing.
You look great for 60.
Thank you.
So realizing that, frankly, anger issues are in your way, you decided to do something about it, right? And you said it's a process, right? In that process, did you have to kill some of your old self?
Yes. So what I realized as time went on is that other people have problems too. You're not the only one with a problem. So one of the things that helped me tremendously, I was a board member of a Brooklyn day school, Brooklyn Yeshiva, and I came to work on the tuition assistance committee, right? And I started watching other people's lives unfold. I became chairman of that committee. And as I watched other people's financial and life challenges happen over time, I said to myself, wow, I don't have it that bad. So once you realize you're not the only one in the problem, you may not have it as bad as you think, figure out a way to make it better.
So perspective.
Perspective, yeah.
How do you know to build it? Where do you go to find it?
It's instinctual. You have to get it or not. You're going to survive or you're not going to survive. You can let the anger burn you up, or you can let it extinguish and shoot you further.
Had anger actually brought you forward in things? Has it been helpful?
Probably not. I don't think
so
maybe on the basketball court at one point in time, maybe when you're like knocking somebody, but thinking back, getting too angry doesn't really help.
Good. Can you describe a moment where it was exceptionally disruptive, right? I want a specific moment that was exceptionally disruptive and you said, hey, we can't do this, or someone told you can't do this.
That's a great question. I don't know. I think when I was, in my 30s, mid-career or early mid-career, we'll call it, right? And I was on Wall Street at the time. There was a lot of anger on the day-to-day basis in the business itself, trying to execute trades.
Interesting.
But sometimes you would be taking it out on your fellow desk mate because you had a big trading desk, if you were yelling and screaming, not to accomplish anything, just to yell and scream, you didn't get anywhere with that yelling and screaming, I found. But even take it a step further, when you have children and you raise your children,
yes,
and we all get upset because you're human, you got to get upset. If you don't get upset, there's something wrong with you. You're on heavy medication, or so you can't be always angry and always happy. It has to be that big. So even with children, if you get too angry at them, it's probably not good for you, and it's definitely not good for them. That's a lesson I learned too. And maybe at times I might have been too angry at my children for my own nonsense because I was angry at myself. Maybe business wasn't good. Maybe I thought my life should have been this way or that way. But given the passage of time, you hopefully learn how to grow and build a better you.
A better you.
A better you. You like that one?
Yeah,
That was a good one, right?
I like that. Where did you begin? You said Wall Street? Is that where you began?
I was a trader on Wall Street.
What does that mean? To explain to the public what that means.
So we executed stock trades, option trades, and future trades.
Did you have to be registered?
You have to register. I had a lot of licenses. There was many different licenses you needed, a Series 7, a 24, a 55, a lot of them you needed. And we executed stock trades on behalf of the company and behalf of other customers.
Did you work for like a big company or something like that?
It was a small boutique shop, which was great, which fit my sort of personality. And we built up a trading desk that started with a couple of people to become a very large company, which I didn't own. I was not an equity owner, but I had a large brokerage business inside that business. And
how many years did you do it for?
I was on Wall Street for probably 12 to 14 years, something like that.
So that was a real ride.
That was a ride. Yeah, that was a grind. That was a business where you were at your desk the whole day. You got there 7 o'clock in the morning. You reviewed the previous day's trades. 9 o'clock, 9:30, the market opened. If you're lucky, you had some lunch in between, but you had lunch at your desk.
Was it stressful?
Very stressful.
What made it stressful? What made it stressful?
Because you were under the gun minute to minute. You had to execute orders minute to minute. You had to take large, complex transactions and not blow it, not make a mistake. If your guy told you buy 100,000 of this and you sold it by mistake, that's on you. There was actually what's called an error account. You were expected to make some errors. So it wasn't so bad, but you couldn't make that many errors, right? So it was a very stressful minute to minute. Buy this at that price to get it done. Sell this at that price to get it done. And this was a constant all-day event from the time the market opened until the time the market closed.
So you were running on adrenaline?
And candy bars. Yeah, we used to adrenaline and candy bars. I personally would add 3 or 4 candy bars a day. It was a terrible, terrible habit, but you had to keep going, right?
And talk about, I guess, agility and resilience. I feel like it was a bad form of that. I feel it was almost toxic to be in that type of environment of such.
That was the business. It was a very active, aggressive business, and you had to perform at a very high level, which many people did. And it was a very minute-to-minute transactional business that most people don't go into that field. But if you're in it and you can adapt to it, you can be very successful.
So 10 to 12 years, you said?
12 to 14 probably.
Were there periods of time where you were burnt out?
Oh, definitely. It was very
How
easy.
did you continue? What did you do?
So the rule was if you had 3 bad trading days in a row, you take a week off. That was sort of like the in-house sort of rule. If you made too many errors, go do something for 2 days. Clear your mind, go do something else, go sit on a beach, go watch TV, just clear your mind. Uh-huh. And that was probably a good rule because you had to, once you get into it and things are not going your way, you're your own worst enemy, right? You have a hard time. Someone's got to tell you what to do sometimes. You have to have your mind cleared. And when you come back and you say, okay, this is my business, I have to focus better. I have to do, maybe I should do this, this, and this. But a lot of it was external because it wasn't only up to you. If the clients were very active and aggressive in their own manner, not in a bad way aggressive, but it was just an aggressive business, needed you to execute something immediately, you had to execute that, immediately.
Did you speak with clients?
All day long. The phones rang all day. We used to have banks of phones on the desk. It was a direct hookup somehow from our trading room to either New York Stock Exchange or other clients' trading rooms. And however the phone company did it.
You plugged it?
You beep it and boom, it rings, you know who it is. And you know exactly who's calling. This one's calling. It was a name on the phone bank. This guy, that guy, the other guy, David, Peter, whatever it was.
So there's no downtime?
Very little downtime.
Did you actually take lunch ever or no?
Nah, we always ate at the desk. Every day someone ordered lunch and you came and you ate at your desk.
Did you exercise?
Then not as much as I would like to. Probably in my 30s or 40s, I was my most heaviest and most out of shape. I'm definitely in better shape today.
How'd you cope?
You ate a lot. You didn't cope. You didn't cope. You just ate a lot. You drank a lot.
That's the coping. You drank a lot. You ate a lot.
Maybe that's coping. Yeah, I guess that's coping. Yeah,
well, that's confronting. What were you confronting there?
The stress of it all. I would answer the phone at home trading. I would answer the phone we used to have house phones once upon a time with the long cord, right? So we answered the phone trading all day long. So at home, I would answer the phone trading. And I'd be like, wait a minute, I'm home now. I'm in my living room. I'm answering the phone like I'm in my office. It was just by rote. You would just do certain things. That's just how it was.
And how did you get into it?
Great question. I'm not even certain. I liked the financial markets. I liked the fact that you can buy something, sell something, make money or lose money because it goes, both ways. And I figured, let me take this early passion of something and turn it into a business. And it took some time.
What was the passion? Where did it derive from?
I didn't really want to have a corporate job. I never really had a corporate job early on, So I wanted to have that entrepreneurial type of thing. And I got introduced to these gentlemen that opened up their own company. And someone said, talk to, Ronnie and talk to Mayor I talked to these guys and they started a company. I think I was the fourth employee at the time, maybe. And the business just grew and just really grew. It was great.
What would you trade?
Stocks, options, futures. There was something at the time called married puts where you'd buy a stock, buy an option at the same time so you can short the stock. There was a lot going on at the time.